Howdy readers, this is Jason and you're watching Chapter and Verse. And this is my wife Kelly.
Hey guys!
And Kelly is here to do the partners book tag with me. And this tag was created by Dave at Wilde Reads, and I will link to his original tag in the box below the video. One of the reasons that we're having Kelly here today to do a video is to introduce you to her, because she's going to be doing a Pulitzer Prize video here very soon on the channel. So, all right, so let's get right to the tag. Question 1. How long have you been together?
You answer this one.
Okay. So we met in 1999. We became friends in 1999. And we started dating in 2004, and we got married in 2006. So we have been friends for 19 years, and we've been together for 14 years, and we've been married for 12 years. So that's it in a nutshell. And someday, maybe, we'll tell you the story of how we actually got together. It involved... It
doesn't involve a book club.
It involved The House of the Spirits by Isabel Allende. So, all right.
Funny.
Question 2. Who reads more?
I probably read more.
Yeah, she reads more. She reads twice as fast as I do. So I read on average about 20 pages an hour, and she reads on average about 40 pages an hour. However, this year I have read more books than her so far. Whether or not that remains true, I don't know. We'll see. Question 3. Do you ever argue or disagree about books?
Yeah. I mean, not like argue, fight kind of thing, but definitely have differences of opinion, I would say. I think it's worse with movies.
Yeah, it's much worse with movies.
We disagree much more often than with books.
Yeah,
so.
And I would say we never really argue, but yeah, disagreements, differences of opinion. Yeah, Kelly loves musicals. I like musicals. Kelly loves romantic comedies. I like romantic comedies. I like depressing Swedish films. Kelly really doesn't. So it's much more of a movie thing, I think, with us than a book thing. But question 4. Who buys the most books? I do. Although I buy far fewer books nowadays than I used to. Yes, it's because of her. Yeah. So Kelly's you're not a big book buyer.
No, because there's no shelf space left.
Well, there is, and there's room for more bookcases too. But yeah, so Kelly's philosophy is go to the library, and my philosophy is build your own library. Question 5. Who has the best taste in books?
I think this taste is subjective. I mean, so Jason's probably the more thoughtful reader of the two of us. He really remembers like passages and details and things more than I do. So, but yeah, I don't know who has the best taste.
Although you did say, so she was flipping through her book journal earlier to figure out the answer for her to question 10, and she was going through her book journal, and she was like, God, you've recommended a lot of really great books to me over the years.
Yeah, it's true.
I thought I'm going back in my mind through the list of questions here.
So therefore, you must have the best taste.
So yeah, so maybe I have the best taste, but I agree. Yes, it's all subjective. Question 6. Do you share your books? All right, so I'll take this one.
Oh.
So we're of the view. I mean, when you get married, your stuff is no longer your stuff, right? It's our stuff. Okay, so yeah, whatever you bring into the marriage, it's no longer yours. It's yours and your spouse's. So while you'll hear me describe our books on the channel as my books, I really mean our books. But because it's just me talking about them, I'm saying my books. But yeah. So we share our books. They are intermingled. So yes, and actually there's not a whole lot of stuff I would say that we own that say I picked out or I brought into the marriage that you wouldn't read, and vice versa. Okay, maybe.
I disagree with that, but we'll say that for another chat.
Okay. Number 7. Do you read together or apart?
Both.
Both. Yes. We both read before we go to sleep at night. We both read in bed, and then sometimes like we'll go to a coffee shop or something and read together. But sometimes I'll go down to the library and read, and Kelly will read in the living room upstairs, or so both. 8. How many books in the average month do you read?
I'm having a really slow year, so this year is not really representing how many books I normally read. I'd probably say like 3 to 4 books in a month normally.
Yeah. Although it should be noted too that we've both had far bigger reading years than we typically have.
Yes.
Have you ever read more than 100 books?
Yes.
In a year?
Now that does include some younger reading books.
Kids books.
Well, not kids books, but I mean, I don't want to include picture books in that or something.
No.
But,
not picture books.
But definitely some things that were maybe faster than your hardcore literary stuff.
Yeah, I like that. Hardcore literary. Hardcore literary. I read probably these days, I would say on average, 2 or 3 books a month. Some months I finish 4, some months I only finish 1. I can't remember a month where I didn't finish any, so that's good. But yeah, I typically read. I always set my reading goal as my birthday, which is on the 27th of January. So I always set my reading goal on Goodreads as 27 books. Some years I make it, some years I don't. But I have read above 60 books before in a year. I don't know how I did that. I really have no idea how I did that. Question 9. Are you both competitive in your reading?
I don't think so, but...
No, not really. Maybe more competitive. I'm probably more competitive with myself when looking back what I did last year or what I did the year before. But with each other, no.
I mean, I think sometimes we have weekends where we each set a reading goal, like how many pages we're going to read this weekend or something along those lines. And maybe there's a bit of a challenge of I've read this many more pages than you kind of thing. But I mean, nothing. I
would say question 9 is no.
Okay.
Kelly would say, depends on how you define competitive. Hey, speaking of, you can't see it in the picture very well, but Kelly's shirt is a lithographs shirt. This is Persuasion. So Jane Austen's Persuasion is, so all of the dark areas on the shirt, those are the words of Jane Austen's Persuasion. So that's a slim book, and so probably the whole novel is on that shirt or close to it. So this is not sponsored by lithographs or anything like that. You will not find sponsored videos here. Watching BookTube channels, sometimes I wonder if they're sponsored by IKEA. But see, question 10. Have you read a book on the other's recommendation and not enjoyed it?
Here we go. So we talked about this before, but we did not tell each other which books we had in mind.
Yeah, we thought were... So what book have I recommended to you that you didn't enjoy?
I'm going to have to go with Naked by David Sedaris.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
You didn't like
that.
It's
a little too, bitter, angry. It wasn't funny to me, which it made him, laugh out loud.
Laugh hysterically. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. The essay in there about his mom and his sister.
Okay. Anyway.
It just involves brown towels and mystery programs.
Right, so what's yours, though? I think I know, but...
So mine is The Time Traveler's Wife.
I know it! Yes, I knew it!
So she had been raving about this book. Everybody was reading this. And I was vaguely curious. I love time travel stuff. yeah, so she just was like, "Oh, you have to read this. You have to read this." And I read it, and I think I ended up giving it 3 stars on Goodreads, and it was a splitting the difference kind of thing.
Kind of reluctantly, yeah.
Because there was some stuff about it that I really did like, and then there were passages, like whole long sections, that I thought were really bad.
And I do have to say, like, when he read it and, like, read some of those passages out loud to me, I was like, oh, like, was I wrong?
Maybe I should reread this.
But I'm, like, yeah, and I haven't reread it since, I've only read it once, so I could be out there. I'm not going to read Naked again, so.
Yeah, I'm not even sure we still have Naked.
I don't know. You might read it again, but anyway, okay.
So yes, but that's the only one I could think of. Actually.
Yeah, it was very hard, and like I was saying earlier, when I was looking through my book journal, there were so many books that I read only because Jason discovered them, or he loved them, or we ventured on had a Dickens project one year, and so there were a lot of things that I read that I probably wouldn't have had it not been for him. So, and that I love dearly. So
that's true.
Definitely much, much harder to find something that he's read and recommended that I didn't like. Really had to dig deep. So
this really all goes back to question 5 again, right? Who has the best taste? We both do. We have sublime taste in books. So that's the Partners book tag. I'm not going to tag anybody specifically, just because I'm still so new to BookTube, that I'm not sure who's married, who's not married, who has a partner, who doesn't. So if you're watching this, or if you see any of the other Partners book tags and you like it and you want to kind of bring someone else into the fold on your channel, I guess I tag you. So that will be that, and I'll be back soon with another video, and we will be back soon with a Pulitzer Prize video. So until then,
bye guys.
We'll see you.